Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast, with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the last morning of the Wisdom of the Sages retreat, our autumn fall foliage bash. And it really, you know what we had last night? Usually we have like this crazy out of control kirtan yesterday, but it was one of these grounded, sattvic, beautiful kirtans led by Kaylee and Kumari and Rupa. And Kumari was just off the charts yesterday. She was so grounded, connected. And she goes, do you mind if I do the next one where I sing and dance? We were like, what? Full entertainment? Sure. And then she did this beautiful dance from the Krishna Karnamrita, which was like next level. And everyone was practically in tears. Love having them here. That's the little baby you can see in the background if you're watching this on YouTube or on Zoom. Say hi, little baby Purneem. Haribo.
Say hi to the people. There you go.
Oh. So we're winding down, Kastuba. How do you feel?
Very fulfilled. I really enjoy spending time with everyone. We had wonderful times together, hearing, chanting, getting to know each other.
We downgraded his room yesterday. We're like, well, we have special guests. Kastuba, you're staying in the gym. He's like, what?
I don't call it the gym. I call it the dog hair covered ice palace.
It's like a walk-in cooler. I was like, hey, you mind if I move these boxes of broccoli in here with you?
But it was very nice there, and I was well cared for there. But Catherine's been taking wonderful care of us all weekend. She got me lots of blankets. That was good.
Catherine got a great attitude. Awesome. Yvette's been here. Maya, thanks for all the Savites. Steve Amari.
That's a great team, those three.
Oh, yeah. And what about Steve Amari?
He's wonderful, too.
You know, he's not on the team.
I don't know.
Steve Amari's-
He's good, too.
He's good, too. All right. So anyway, it's coming down off that. But I will say there is some potency in doing everything on Zoom. You meet people from all over the world at different corners of the world. But there's something very special about coming together, isn't it?
No doubt.
You got to really spend quality time with people, pick the brain, see where they're at, give them a little hug.
I really enjoyed meeting the crew that came up from South Jersey, Philly area.
Yeah, Dan Murphy, DC Dubs, Connor and Amanda, and Margot.
Wonderful people.
There's good people out there.
We were thinking we have a little crew of South Jersey firemen that listen to the show. We got to bring them.
We got to get to know
Walk on
Wednesday. Firemen walk on Wednesday. Then we need like EMT walk on Wednesday. Cops.
We got those people.
We got cops too, don't I think?
I'm sure we do.
We got cops. Yeah. Then we get some robbers on too.
I'm sure we probably have some.
Like me, I'm Krishna conscious robber.
Can we bring you guys together?
See, Krishna consciousness brings everybody together. Can you hug? Okay.
Yes, and you're under arrest.
And he's escaping.
Okay. Let's keep this rolling. Announcement time. Right? Raghunath's relishing the banter. Mara, are there any announcements today?
Yeah.
We have Back to Recovery group meetings today at 1, 2, and 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll be moving back to a 6 a.m. show starting tomorrow.
6 a.m. show tomorrow. Hooray!
All right. And exciting stuff is happening today because we're going into we're going to kind of skip over a chapter. I'll explain why. And then we get into like this unbelievable stuff for the rest of this canto. It's all mind blowing, left and right, Raghunath. There's mind blowing stuff going on for the rest of this canto. Story of Richard Sura, Indra.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm gonna offer out 2 prayers today. One for anyone.
This is where you. No, I'm all at your prayer.
You're gonna interrupt my prayer? Who are you? The devil?
He's listening.
I was like, I'm gonna offer a prayer. You're like, stop praying.
All right, no, if you want, let's say the
We
prayer.
got prayers. People are going through hell right now in the
That's true.
world right now, and some of our listeners here live
In Israel.
in Israel.
It breaks my heart. It's tearing it up.
Um,
Especially when you know people personally there, and they're beautiful people, and it's heartbreaking to see human beings
oh, I know.
killing one another in such
Ta-
cruel ways.
Talia was, saying, I woke up and there was just this thing on my phone that said, "Don't go outside today."
Yeah.
They're going to be killing people outside. It's like the material world. Everything can go from normal to disaster in a matter of moments.
Yep.
And we need to be grounded and connected. And we offer prayers here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Talia she posted on Instagram a message about how sad this is, but how without, the knowledge that she's receiving through Bhagavatam, and so how that can get one even through these most difficult times. It's true. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Can I ask for a personal prayer from everybody too?
All right. Personal prayer.
I don't even know how I'm praying this for, but today is like,
Oh,
I gotta like a court thing,
another type of conflict.
and it's there's a spousal conflict in court, and I'm just gonna ask for prayers because
Did you get a good settlement? What
well,
are we
no,
praying?
it's not praying for. I don't have to pay that much, but no, I'm actually it's for custody, for custody arrangements. But I'm not even praying like all the custody is in my favor. I'm praying for. I'm praying that whatever these
children have
whatever
the
these
best
kids
opportunity.
whatever these kids need for their spiritual growth.
Okay.
I'm praying for that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to like
Oh.
manipulate. I'm praying like God's will be done, and I trust that God's got a plan for these kids, and we can't control everything.
That will be my prayer today.
Thank you.
And
Can we get a Hare Krishna from everybody, please? Before you go on.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
The way that you carefully explain that will have a lot to do with the rest of this canto too, because we're going to see the demigods they're like devotees of Lord Narayan, of Lord Vishnu,
Yeah,
but their devotion is mixed.
still mixed.
And so when they approach Lord Narayan, often they're doing it because they need something, they want something for themselves. What you said there was a little different. You weren't, hey, pray for me because I'm going into this and I need a good settlement.
Can you
for me.
lower the alimony a little bit? Just $100, God.
It makes such a difference.
Just $100.
A little break. But your concern was centered around Krishna, that you want your kids to have the best opportunity to know Krishna in this life, and this may play a role in that. So
And maybe it's not be around me. Maybe whatever it is. I'm just
Okay.
saying,
whatever
thy
it
will
is,
be done.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
Okay, great. That being said, we're going to start with a nugget today, and it's a nugget about.
A chunk of a nugget.
I was about to say it's about gratitude, but it's really about ingratitude.
Well, they
You got
work
Hand in hand.
hand in hand. Where am I? Where is that nugget? Here it is. This is from Anne Rowe.
She's an English author and columnist who has been the obituaries editor of The Economist since 2003.
The obituaries editor.
I mean, they need an editor too, right? You can't just throw.
It's just,
But I
this is all wrong.
I assume it means that when an important person passes away, she writes an article about it.
Okay. All right. Here's what she writes.
And
Ingratitude.
you got to go a little. Each statement here is.
Say that slower. So what you were
each
saying slower.
Statement here is deep.
Okay. ingratitude is the frost that nips the flower even as it opens,
Even as it opens.
that shrivels the generous apple on the
But
branch.
even think about that one, right? Like there's a I'm sorry, go ahead, read the whole thing. We'll go after you read it, we'll go through.
That shrivels the generous apple on the branch, that freezes the fountain in mid-flow and numbs the hand even in the very act of giving.
That's what I was just doing. I was numbing your hand in the act of giving. I'm even doing it right now. Please continue.
It is a sin of silence, absence, and omission, as winter's sin is a lack of light, a sin against charity, which otherwise warms the heart, and in the truest sense, makes the world turn.
Whoa.
That's big. That's heavy. That's weighty.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's real.
We hear about this idea that gratitude is, we hear about it in Ramayana, right? Can you think of what I'm thinking of? There's a place in the Ramayana where it's said that ingratitude is the worst sin. There's no sin greater than ingratitude. That even the vultures, they don't even want to eat the body of an ungrateful person.
I thought they ate anything.
No.
Okay.
They turn away from it. When
I can't remember what.
It was spoken by Lakshman.
Can't remember.
Lakshman, a deal was made between Lord Ram and Sugriva. That Lord Ram would help Sugriva, and then Sugriva would help Lord Ram.
And Sugriva got intoxicated, forgot all about it.
He due to Lord Ram's help, he was in a good position. He had his kingdomly opulence back, and he was enjoying it, and he got lost in that enjoyment.
Happens.
And this becomes a theme of what we're going to read today, that when you get lost in enjoyment, you tend to become ungrateful. Right.
Sure.
And so Sugriva became, he forgot that the reason why he's there right now was due to someone else's help. He became ungrateful, and Lakshman was furious, ready to kill him. He's so ungrateful. It's the worst sin. But I like the way that she wrote this. It's the frost that nips the flower, even as it opens, right? Like you're receiving something good, and actually you're repaying it with ingratitude. Whether it's an apple on a branch or a flower opening or flow of a fountain, that ingratitude, it's so counter to the devotional attitude. And you know who's going to demonstrate some ingratitude today?
Daksha.
No, Daksha's, we're done with Daksha.
We're done with Daksha.
Yeah, that kind of ended quick. It was like Daksha cursed Narada. Narada was like, okay, and that was the end of it.
End of the story. All right, who's up next?
Indra. For the rest of the chapter. Indra, he's a devotee, right? He's a devotee of Lord, right? He's going to get embarrassed. He's going to get humiliated. He's just going to go through the ringer like you can't believe.
And it's easy to forget, right? He's one of the haves. He's the most.
He's the most
have.
Yeah.
You think you have? He has.
He has more.
He has more.
Yeah.
Bezos, nothing.
Bezos.
Steve Bezos,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Nothing compared to what Indra's got.
It's not
It's not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and another thing about gratitude is it's not just a mental thing. It's a spoken thing. It's a spoken thing to appreciate someone. Let them know you appreciate them. Otherwise, you could be in a relationship with a person where you're like, I appreciate them. I appreciate them. I appreciate them. But we don't vocalize our appreciation. How do they know it? They don't pick up on them. It translates to, I'm not appreciated. I'm doing so much and I'm not appreciated. That's the 101. That's the ABCs of gratitude is speak your appreciations to people.
From Robert Brault. No idea who he is.
Okay.
But he says, there is no such thing as gratitude unexpressed. If it is unexpressed, it is plain old-fashioned ingratitude.
Okay.
Interesting.
Maybe not just spoken. Maybe you got to find their love language. What's your love language, Costuba?
I don't know.
So I can just, because maybe if I tell you I'm grateful for you, you won't hear that. You need like food or
my love
affection.
language is the letting go of constantly singing popular songs.
Oh, really? That's
Sure,
your love
the
language?
takeaways. Yeah. When that happens, I feel the love.
You know what? I hear what you really mean underneath that.
Yeah. That you want me to
It's that
sing
you
more
want
songs.
me to, but you don't want to express that.
Okay.
I can be
All
your
right.
inner voice for you.
So we ready to get into new chapters, new territories?
Yeah.
Hit it.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesh vabhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet.
Okay.
Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
It's a new chapter. Canto 6, Chapter 6, the progeny of the daughters of Daksha.
But you know what? But
we're skipping it.
We're going to pretty much skip over this entire thing. Let's just get a little bit of a recap here, right?
Okay.
The last two chapters dealt with Daksha and the relationship between Daksha and Narada Muni. And there we saw, as we've been speaking about throughout this canto, that this was a conflict between mixed devotion and pure devotion, right? Daksha was like a religious man. He identified himself as,
pious, dharmic.
Yeah, I'm a devotee of Lord Narayan. I'm a devotee of Lord Vishnu. That's how he saw himself. But he was a devotee that wanted something from Lord Narayan, right? So the love wasn't pure. The love was mixed. And what Bhagavatam is going to do is, because Vyasadeva has written so many texts, and there he emphasizes different things at different times for different people on different levels. He had to finally come out and make it clear, hey, everything I've been saying, it was all building towards something called pure love, pure devotion. And I don't want you to forget that. I don't want you to mix that up and quote something else to counter this. I'm going to make it abundantly clear. So what I'm going to do in Bhagavatam is I'm going to highlight this conflict between mixed devotion and pure devotion, so that I'm going to paint mixed devotion in such a dark tones, right, that you'll get it, that I'm a mixed devotee myself, that the voice of Daksha sometimes speaks within my own mind. And if I'm going to achieve the very goal of life, pure love, I'm going to have to root that out. And so Daksha becomes, the Yamadutas were the first example of that mixed devotion. Daksha becomes a more clear example of it. Indra's going to become like an abundantly clear example of it.
You know what I use for an example of this?
What is that?
I bring it right down to a family life. You know, you say, you have a teenage kid who says, hey, Dad, want me to do the dishes for you? I was like, what do you want? And he's like, well, I want to use the car tonight. Is it okay? I'll do the whole kitchen after we eat. All right. That's an idea of like, I'm going to do some work to serve my authority, my dad, and I want to pay back. I want some payback.
Someone entirely without love might have done that.
Yeah,
right.
Sure. Yeah, like some transactional thing. Like they have this thing where you can rent somebody's car. You don't go to Thrifty or Hertz. You just rent a person's car.
Okay.
They have this thing where you give them some
Sublet
money and they
the
give you a
car.
car. The other pure bhakti would be sort of like, okay, I'm going to do the dishes tonight. Well, what do you want? Nothing. You guys do so much for me. I have so much gratitude for all that you do. I just want to give back. I feel like I'm not giving enough.
Or even, I want to do because
That's
it makes you happy. And I feel happy when I see you happy.
There you go.
Right. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, if a parent has a kid like that, you fully trust them. You fully give them all access. You offer them the car, even if they don't necessarily ask for it. That's why they say the pure devotees in bhakti, it's like they have mukti. They have all mystic powers. Why? Because they're so deeply connected with divinity.
You know, it's also an expression of their gratitude, right? Let me do this for you because I'm grateful for all that you
Sure.
gave me. And it's that gratitude that opens the channel, right? Because the parents have love for the children. The children don't always appreciate it or feel it.
Why do you think some people, is it just practice for lifetimes? Some people are naturally ungrateful, naturally entitled. And some people are naturally, even with children, they're naturally grateful.
It may be, certainly we have our dispositions from past lives, and then it's maybe countered or reinforced by how we're raised and what
By
we're exposed
culture.
to, by culture, by our training.
By training. Yeah. I mean, I think culture in the old days was a little bit more grateful, don't you think? Don't you think kids are more entitled now?
Well, compared to
In the 1800s when you
I
live
wasn't-
Little House on the
I
Prairie.
don't have any memory of that time.
Little House on the Prairie. Where you respect your paw and your maw.
It probably was like that.
You
It
know,
probably was.
thanks, paw.
Probably, living closer, like my father would disappear in the morning, come back in the evening. I had no idea what he's doing all day. But like if you're there witnessing what your parents are doing for you all day,
Oh,
hopefully
that's a good point.
you would
That's interesting.
feel a greater sense of gratitude. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Daksha, he began to speak like someone that had no devotion. He was criticizing the pure. He couldn't recognize pure devotion when he saw it. His vision was clouded by his mixed devotion, and he's made the same mistake that he made back in the third canto. He started openly criticizing and with intensity. It said his lips were trembling. He was so angry at Narada. He couldn't recognize what pure devotion looks like. And he felt, there must have been some kind of, it was challenging his own identity as thinking of himself as very lofty, as a religious, spiritual person. And he lashed out against. So Bhagavatam wants us to understand we may have that in us. Our devotion may be mixed. Don't settle for mixed. So then that ended. And then what happened was Daksha, he had one group of sons. Narada diverted them from Daksha's path of pious religiousness into pure spirituality. Daksha tolerated that, had another set of sons. Narada did the same thing with them. Daksha flipped out, started yelling and screaming at Narada. Then he took up a whole new strategy for progeny. Going to have some girls, because Narada is like a brahmachari, and he's only preaching to these other men. I'll have girls, and then
Girls are great.
Then these girls will be married off to other progenitors that are already out there that Narada hasn't gotten his hands on, and in this way I'll carry out my duty as a progenitor. So this chapter is basically a long list of his daughters.
Okay.
And
they go into details with these lists, and they're sort of like, really? You're going to give us all these details? This is too much information. But when I read it now, that's how I used to read it. When I read it now, I was like, this stuff is real. Why would they be giving this uninteresting backstory if it wasn't real? And they'll give you like a genealogy of descendants.
That's what we get here.
So we're going to just skip this?
Well, I'm just going to summarize something quick.
Okay.
And draw the link to the next chapter.
You are my human cliff notes.
Okay. So we hear a long list of the daughters of Daksha. And can you name the two that we hear about the most in Bhagavatam?
Daughters of Daksha. Is it Diti and Aditi?
Diti and Aditi.
They're the mother of the demigods and the mother of the Daityas, or the demons.
Right. So yeah. So we hear a list of the daughters of Daksha, who they're married to. Sometimes we hear a little bit about the next level of their descendants. We hear the name Aditi. We hear both Aditi and Diti were married to the same person, Kashyapa. And we read about that earlier in the third canto a bit. So Aditi's sons become the Devas. Actually, they're all related, right?
I know. It's sort of incestual, but I think you could do it back then.
Yeah. And then Aditi, her offspring become the Asuras, the demons. So the chapter kind of ends there. It says the daughters of the Daityas became the wife. So the daughters of so this is like going down. There's Diti, and then her kids, the Daityas, and then their kids. The daughter of the Daityas, Rachana, this is text 44 in the 6th chapter of the 6th canto. Rachana, the daughter of the Daityas, became the wife of Prajapati Tvasta. Now, Tvasta is going to come up.
Okay.
Right. He's going to be important. And his son. And by his semen, he begot in her womb 2 very powerful sons named Sanivesha and Vishvarupa. Vishvarupa is going to become a very important character moving forward. Although Vishvarupa was the son of the daughter of their eternal enemies, the demons, the demigods accepted him as their priest in accordance with the order of Brahma, when they were abandoned by their spiritual master Brihaspati, whom they had disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now this is going to open up the door to the next story. But what's going to happen is Indra is going to offend his own guru, Brihaspati, and he's really going to be lost. And because he's a ritualistic karmi in that sense, right? He needs a priest to do, if he wants
Rituals,
protection,
yeah.
he needs a priest to do a ritual. If he wants power, he needs a priest to do. He's not turning to Vishnu and saying, "I'm your servant, empower me as you like." He's saying, "Here's the ritual, give me the power." Right? So then he's going to need a priest to do that. Vishvarupa will become that priest. And we're going to see Indra's ingratitude towards Brihaspati, then becomes ingratitude towards Vishvarupa. And Indra, who's that emblem, again, of the successful religious mixed devotee, we're going to see that his life gets darker and darker and darker and darker due to this mixed devotion. So that's what's going to play out. So now we're going to start the next chapter, which is chapter 7. There you go. Click. You don't have to read that.
Indra offends his spiritual master, Brihaspati. This is never going to end up well. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, "O great sage, why did the spiritual master of the demigods, Brihaspati, reject the demigods, who were his own disciples? What offense did the demigods commit against their spiritual master? Please describe this incident."
Okay, so that just caught his curiosity, right? What
Yeah.
we just heard at the end of the last chapter. Oh, what? They had to get another priest because they disrespected Brihaspati. What happened there? This sounds important.
Right.
And now what we're going to hear, these texts 2 through 8 are all kind of translated together. And the gist of this, as it starts to play out, is Vyasadeva is painting a picture for us of what religious piety, the results of religious piety look like, right? The results of good karma look like. It's Indra. He's at the peak in the entire universe. This man has achieved the highest goal of materialism, the highest goal of pious materialism, the highest goal of mundane religiosity in a sense, right?
Sure.
He's a devotee of Vishnu, but he's got his own personal concerns that he holds on to.
Is a problem. That's his problem.
Yeah. And it's manifested in opulence. Like,
You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
Bogaishvarya prashaktanam taya parita chetasam.
Vyavasayatmaka buddhi. Samadho na vidhyate. Yeah.
Samadho na vidhyate. Samadhi will never take place if you're attracted. For those who are attached to material opulence and sense credit.
Yes.
That's it.
And
are bewildered by such thing. If you're attached to material opulence and sense gratification and are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for bhakti will not take place.
Okay.
Samadho na vidhyate.
You get lost in it.
You get lost in it. You're like, this is so great.
Well, you want to see a picture of that right now? You're going to see it right now.
It's just like, I was doing those impressions of one who must live. Were you there the other day, Mara? Were you there when I was doing the impressions of what it must be like to be on the heavenly planets?
Oh, you're jumping around.
Because I was like, you can only, it's hard to understand the pleasure, that pleasure can be more than the pleasure I already get. But there's always more and more refined types of pleasure. Just like the pleasure of drugs is like intense, but it's got such a hard down. Imagine if the pleasure was just higher and higher and higher. It just gets higher. Like, what would that be like to eat food? But it's just like, it just like lasts and it radiates and it's delicious and it just keeps going. It's not over once you swallow it. That's what these pleasures in these higher planets are like. They're such refined pleasures. You must be like, oh my God. It's just like one like happy moan after another. Like, this is incredible. There's
I'm
no
sure it's
pain
exactly
that
like
goes with it. There's no arthritis, carpal tunnel syndrome, indigestion, flatulence. Nothing's there. It's just joyous,
except
except you get bewildered by it and
Yeah.
you forget about, hey, I'm part of something bigger. I'm not here to be the enjoyer, not to be the center. I'm here to serve the center. And so when you got the goods, sometimes you forget about the necessary, the important stuff. And so that's a danger. That's why we say good karma can sometimes be bad karma. Good karma can be bad because you can forget what's good is bad. Yeah. Right. Oh, it's going bad for you. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Good for you.
Oh, everything's going good. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's bad. That's bad because you can forget.
All right, things are going good,
That's
and
bad.
it's going to be bad for
That's bad.
Indra right here.
Sukadeva Goswami said, "O king, once upon a time, the king of heaven, Indra, being extremely proud because of his great opulence of the three worlds, transgressed the law of Vedic etiquette. Oops. Whoopsie. Seated on his throne, he was surrounded by the Maruts, the Vasus, the Rudras, the Adityas, the Ribus, the Vishvadevas, the Sadyas, the Ashwini Kumaras, the Siddhas, the Charanas, and the Gandharvas, and by great saintly persons." So these are all races of higher beings,
high level
beings. We tend to think like, well, we're humans, we got domain over the animals. There's so many beings higher than us, the yogis say.
The way that we would look at, say, a toad or something like that.
They look at us like,
They look
oh,
at
look at those little toads. They're
Yeah.
trying to like build. Oh, they're at war. The toads are at war. Oh, look at the toads are making a business.
Yeah.
This will fail.
No, these
The
are
toads are in love.
oh, but these are all they have more beautiful love, they have more greater opulence, they got much greater power, they're much more refined, they got greater skills, the arts, everything's.
Why are we so damn arrogant? We were walking back from the kirtan last night, and I can't remember when I was with one of you guys, and we're like, look at the sky. And you just look up at the sky. It was breathtaking last night. And it's just like, and we have the audacity to say that we are the only beings in the universe. Like, who comes up with such a statement like that? Like, unless you're steeped in this arrogance, like everything is about me and look at me. Without even knowing, we can't even see with the naked eye anything, huh?
It's true.
And we're making these statements. They're probably most likely nothing.
No, there are these higher level beings according to Bhagavatam.
Yeah, higher, not only higher level, but even if you went to their planets, you couldn't see them because you don't even have the instruments. You don't have the senses to see them. In the same way, if an ant was to, climb up to this table, he wouldn't be like, oh, these guys are doing a podcast. Cool. I'm just going to sit here. The ant's not going to do that. Ant's not going to even know I'm here. He's just looking for sugar. He's not like oh, nice hat, Kostuba. Good. All right. Ant's not thinking like that. So it's beyond the senses of the ant. We're like those frogs, those toads, those ants, trying to speculate about the universe. Yeah, we're the only ones here.
And amongst these higher, refined, talented, beautiful, powerful beings, we haven't heard about them all yet because there's a few more you got to mention here. Right?
The Siddhas, the perfected beings, the Charanas, the Gandharvas, they're like angels. And by great saintly persons. Also surrounding them were the Vidyaras.
Yeah.
The Apsaras, the Kanaras, the Patagas. I've never heard of them. Oh, they're
birds.
There's advanced bird species. And these guys, the Uragas, the snakes.
So you got all these smart people. You got the birds over here. You got snakes over
It's
here.
like you're in the botanical.
But they're not ordinary birds or snakes. See, they can talk, I think.
No, yeah, they're like higher beings that look sort of bird-like.
Yeah.
Like big bird. Like big bird.
Okay. They're
The
different than big
snakes. This
birds.
is interesting because I always thought the snakes were sort of low. These seem like they're very
There's all kinds.
evolved.
There's all varieties of snakes too.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and in the midst of them all, Indra.
They there's a whole thing about like half human, half snake people.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a YouTube channel out there.
Well, they describe Patanjali as half human, half snake.
He's portrayed that way sometimes.
Yeah, you see these
But
deities of snake.
They say that
beings.
he is that he's
An incarnation of Ananta.
So whether that is meant to be a literal understanding that he's like
But then you have the Nagapatnis. They're snake women.
Nagapatnis are
Snake
often
women.
portrayed that way as well.
Yeah.
But were they regular women that were married to a snake?
Would you marry a snake woman?
Well, he was a powerful snake. He wasn't an ordinary snake.
So you're saying you
Oh,
would.
would I marry a snake woman?
Yeah. Like half.
Well, if I was a
would you,
snake, I
would you
would.
just, well, what if you're a human? Would you discriminate? Be like, I'm sorry, I don't.
I think it would probably be
Be
a deal
awkward.
breaker.
I did our charts. I did our charts. I don't think it's going to work. Let me see those charts.
Okay. But so Indra's right there. He's in the middle of all of them. Let's hear what else is going on.
It's like a mermaid. That's what a mermaid probably is.
That's fish, not snake. All of them
Over-
were offering. All of them were offering Indra.
All of them were offering Indra the respects and services, and the Apsaras, those are like heavenly damsels.
Beautiful.
Like beautiful, next level beauty.
Singing beautifully.
So they sing beautifully. I'm just going to echo everything that you say. And Gandharvas, those are like the male angel singers, were dancing and singing with very sweet musical instruments. Who can imagine what those musical instruments are like?
And they're all just glorifying him. You know, he's right at the center of it all.
Right. Over Indra's head was a white umbrella, as effulgent as the full moon. So the white umbrella is considered it's like the umbrella of a king.
Of the
It's
ruler.
It's a parasol. It's
Yeah.
not raining there.
Yeah.
Over Indra's head was a white umbrella, fanned by yak-tail whisks and served with all the paraphernalia of a great king. Indra was sitting with his wife Sachi Devi, who occupied half the throne. It was a love seat.
It was a love seat, and you can imagine the beauty of Sachi Devi is just in the material world like unparalleled. So he's also has like he's not only is he being glorified by all these high level people, but then sitting right next to him is like this is what makes a man. This is the male ego, right? Like he feels all the more powerful and respected. He has a beautiful woman sitting next to him. So he's just materially, he's right there at the peak.
He's got it all.
Yeah.
Sachi Devi occupied half the throne when the great sage Brihaspati appeared. So he's Brihaspati is the guru of the demigods, and he appeared in that assembly. Brihaspati, the best of the sages, was the spiritual master of Indra and the demigods, and was respected by the demigods and demons alike. So even the demons looked up to him.
We were mentioning that about Narada, right?
Right. Great personalities.
They're what was it again? That they are entirely independent and unbiased.
And therefore, okay, you got to cut them some slack.
Yeah. Yeah, therefore they can be respected by everyone. People get that, right? When you're very deeply spiritually realized, you're independent. You're not thinking like, well, I belong to that clan.
You can't be purchased.
Yeah. You're free to live your truth, you know, and to live your love for every living being. That's going to become an issue here, you know, because like, what's going to happen? I'll just jump forward a little bit, and it's shocking.
We call that a spoiler.
It's shocking, but Indra's going to offend Brihaspati here, and it's just going to bring in tons of inauspiciousness, and it's going to make him weak. And now he's going to become vulnerable to the attacks of the asuras, of the demons. He's going to have to find a priest so that he doesn't just think, Krishna, look at me, what a fool I am. I've allowed myself to, I've offended people that have been generous and helpful to me in Brihaspati. Now look at me. I've created my own problem here. I turn to you and I take shelter of you. Just please accept my service. I'm yours. Whether I thrive or don't thrive in this material world, I leave that in your hands. I'm your servant. That's pure devotion. That's what pure devotion looks like. Indra's mixed devotion looks like, I need to be your protection, Lord Narayan. Right? I need you to help protect me. So he needs to get a priest to do the ritual to satisfy Lord Narayan. This is how he's thinking. In order so that I get protection. And he gets a priest. And that priest is the one that we heard about earlier, Vishvarupa, right? Who is actually born in the lineage of the demons. But actually, Indra has offended him in the past. So when Indra goes to Lord Narayan and says, I need your help, Lord Narayan says, he says, look, here's my mixed devotee. He should become my pure devotee. So I'm going to help him because he's my devotee, but I'm going to help him in a way where the results of his mixed devotion play out.
Mm.
So I'm going to humiliate him.
I'm gonna give him a little tough
right?
love.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you can get my protection. Go to this person to be your priest, the person that you've already offended, and beg him, right?
Ouch.
Beg him. And the way it all plays out is like very embarrassing for Indra. But what happens is that Vishvarup, he's kind of like what we're mentioning here. He's not a party person. Party like partying, but like he's not a member of any party.
Party people.
Yeah, he's not
Party
like party
people in the
people
house.
but yeah.
All the people in the planetary system.
But so that Vishvarup is he's gonna give Indra exactly what he needs. He's gonna
Right.
do the rituals for him. He's gonna serve him loyally.
Okay.
But because he shows a little affection to Indra's enemies, Indra becomes fearful,
Mm.
and he's gonna kill him.
Mm.
It gets darker.
Okay,
and
let's keep going with
dark.
this. Let's keep going with this. Let's get dark.
Well, it's gonna be a while before that.
Okay.
But this is dark too.
Sajati half the throne. Brihaspati, the best of the sages, was the spiritual master of Indra and the demigods. He was disrespected. He was respected by the demons and demigods alike. Nevertheless, although Indra saw his spiritual master before him, he did not rise from his own seat or offer a seat to his spiritual master. Got to offer your seat to your teacher. Teacher comes in, here's a seat. It's like a glass of water. What would you like?
Nor did Indra.
Nor did Indra offer him a respectful welcome. Indra did nothing to show him respect.
Okay.
Not good.
Ingratitude.
Gratitude.
Right. Like the idea is that within the culture, the gratitude is expressed externally to cultivate the gratitude internally. Right.
And the gratitude is meant to serve bhakti and devotion ultimately,
Yeah.
because the devotion flows down. So there's a culture of respect. And Krishna sees that, and he wants to see that sort of like it's just like a spiritual hierarchy of sorts.
Yeah.
Because one of the qualifications to receive bhakti is deep gratitude.
Deep gratitude. Indra wouldn't be sitting in that position he's in right now if it weren't for the good instructions that he was receiving from Brihaspati. But Indra and this is the nature of mixed devotion. I want something, and when I get it, I don't need you anymore.
Sure.
Right? Because I got what I wanted. Is it really devotion at all? And so he got what he wanted from Brihaspati. Now he's at the top. He's being worshipped. Everybody's singing, glorifying him. He's got everything that he wants, and he got lost in it. And his gratitude to Brihaspati became covered by just being bewildered in material enjoyment. And he neglects to do the very minimal, show the very minimal gratitude through the etiquette of saying, oh, I'm being worshipped here, but here's the person who's helped me so much. Let's slow down the big worship me kind of pageantry here, and let me respect this person who I'm so indebted to. He lost it.
You know, a good habit we have here at the Super Soul Farm
What do you
is,
do?
you know what we do?
Mm.
As soon as Mara sees me in the morning, she bows down, offers her obeisance. I bow down.
Right
Catherine
in the
A
dog
comes
hair.
in.
Yeah, right in the dog
dark
hair.
sometimes, and in the middle.
In the dog hair.
In the dog hair, yes.
right
Sometimes we bow right down, come up with a face full of dog. Catherine A comes in, bows down. Maya comes in, bow down. We just offer respect
to each other,
respect to each other.
Right.
And it doesn't, there is a mood there of the junior to the senior, oh, my teacher, like that. But I have that same mood towards students. If I come into that yoga studio, first thing I want to do is I offer my respect to this is a nice little trick, yoga teachers out there, is offer your respect to the students. Because in my mind, this is a good little trick. Listen to this one. You train yourself to see the students as sent from your guru. They're sent from your teachers for you to give the
so their presence in your life is a gift.
It's a gift, and they're your teachers. They're coming from your teacher, and you're meant to take care of them on behalf of your teacher. That way, then you don't get clingy. You think, oh, this is my student. Oh, these are my students. These are all my students. You think these are the students of my teacher, and I'm here to take care of them. Because there's a nature that we have that if you're taking care of somebody else's property, you give it more respect. Like sometimes, as a parent, we know that sometimes a mother will come by, hey, can you watch my kid for an hour? And you're like, you're really careful with that kid. Your own kids can be like climbing down wells, playing with chainsaws. You're like, that's fine. But these kids, I gotta watch out for. So in that mood of like, they're sent to me, I got to take care of and nurture on behalf of my teacher. It's just a nice way to see the student.
Very
Otherwise,
nice.
our ego just gets, I'm the guru here. Bow down.
Mm.
I'll bow down if you bow down. And it's like, no, it's just like the mood. We offer respect.
All right, Indra's blowing it here. What happens next?
Text 9. Brihaspati knew everything that would happen in the future. Seeing Indra's transgression of etiquette, he completely understood that Indra was puffed up by material opulence. It's easy.
Mhm.
It's easy if you're beautiful, wealthy, rich, knowledgeable, intelligent. It's easy to get a little arrogant. Although able to curse Indra, he did not do so. Instead, he just left the assembly and in silence returned to his home.
Interesting.
Yeah. He didn't curse.
He didn't chew him out.
Didn't chew him out. Didn't give him the sauce.
Didn't curse him. But he knew. But he could also see the future, and he knew, okay, he's making mistakes, and the only way he's going to learn his lesson is by making these mistakes and dealing with the consequences.
Yeah.
Right? So he didn't yell, didn't scream, didn't get upset, didn't say, "What the hell is this? Who do you think you are? Don't
dare
you remember
you."
me?" And there's no resentment. He just walked out.
Indra. Okay.
Text 10.
Text 10. Indra, the king of heaven, could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he had disrespected his spiritual master, he condemned himself. Oh, damn! In the presence of all the members of the assembly.
That must have been like,
what have I done?
Yeah, that thing like, hey, everything's good. Oh man, like you're right at your peak of enjoyment, and then you're like, oh,
What have I done?
What have I done? I've screwed up.
Alas, what a regrettable deed I've committed because of my lack of intelligence and my pride in my material opulence.
Mm-hmm.
I failed to show respect to my spiritual master when he entered the assembly, and thus I have insulted him.
Okay, so Indra knows what the right behavior
Right.
is.
He knows
right?
the etiquette.
He knows
it's not
the
like he's
etiquette.
ignorant.
Yeah.
A child. He understands it. And he just like neglected it because I was.
Even we have to hand it to him that right there in that moment, he was able to have a certain level of self-critique, right? And he realized, I blew it. And I got lost, because when you have that mixed devotion, you get lost. You want some results, and then you enjoy those results, and you forget what's real. You forget what's important. So he got lost in it all. And
it's one reason why before we start reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, we do these Mangalacharanam, these auspicious prayers. We offer prayers to Guru, offer prayers to Vyasadeva, Saraswati, the goddess of learning, etc. And we offer them because it can very quickly roll into the Raghunath show. It's not the Raghunath show. It's the Srimad Bhagavatam show. It's the show. And so when you offer obeisances before we speak, before we lead a kirtan, it was really nice. Kumari just said, "Om Jnana Tamarannasya," last night before the kirtan. Why? Because she's remembering anything I'm getting, I've got from someone else. It's just a great way to approach life. It's woven into the culture of Southeast Asia.
other places as well besides India?
Yeah. I was I went to Thailand to study kickboxing when I first met my ex-wife, and so she went to study Thai massage. And one day I went to her morning.
Hurt him, and she would help him.
I would hurt her. She didn't help me. So I was doing Thai boxing. One day I went to her massage school, and it was because of Bali. It was in Bali, or, in Thailand rather, and everybody came out of the school before the class started. Like it's like morning sessions, and they all went to a deity of their guru, who's an Indian, Shiva Gokarnapaj, a Thai massage guru who brought the teachings to Thailand, and they sing a song to the guru. Now you and me get this because in an ashram we would sing songs to the deity of the guru, and it was a very normal thing. I was like, oh my God, this is like a guru puja, worship of the guru. And they do that before they start the day. So all the Thai people that were the teachers were like singing and singing, and all like the Australians and Europeans are like, what the hell is going on? Why do we do this every day? We sing just teach me how to massage somebody. Why am I singing a song to a statue?
Yeah, that's also like that in the Bhaktivinoda hospital.
Right
in Mumbai, where there's a Murti, a form of Srila Prabhupada, like right in the middle of the kind of lobby, I suppose you call it.
Is the lobby.
And and I think 3 times a day
3 times a day.
The staff kind of probably about at least 50 or 60 years people or something like that. They all kind of stand around and circle that
And sing songs to the
and they sing,
statue,
yeah,
the deity.
yeah. And
if you're not part of the club, you don't get it. It's like, what are you doing? There's work to be done here at the hospital.
it's his teachings that instilled the values of this hospital, right? That instilled our values and the values of this hospital. Let us not forget that.
Yeah.
Let us show our gratitude for that. Let's reinforce that in our minds.
It's so easy to see that ritual as a waste of time.
No,
It's
not.
right.
Yeah.
It's not a waste of time. It's the reason. It's the why that we're doing
everything
this
else becomes a waste of time if you don't remember why you're doing
This is tying right back to the beginning of classes. Nugget.
it. The gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right. Are we still going?
Yeah, why not? Keep it going.
It was 56.
Oh, well. All right, you want to stop here?
We
can do
could.
that. We can pick up
We
tomorrow.
could. It was a good spot.
All right.
Who's here today?
Okay, so we got Indra hanging here, right? He's made his offense. He realizes it. What happens next? Tune in tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow at 6 a.m.
We got
We'll
we need Mara here.
Oh, Mara's here. Hey, Mara. We thought you just took off. Look, Brian Owens here. Hey, Brian. Hey, Kirtania. Takeaways. I know.
Can you cue up the song?
Me? I don't know. Where?
How do you not know how to search a YouTube video? It's a Jai Shri Krishna.
Oh, I gotta
There you
search
go.
it.
No. Look,
It's right there.
Okay. Takeaways. Don't repay gifts with ingratitude. Vocalize our appreciation.
Otherwise, it's not even appreciation, according to some person whose name I couldn't pronounce.
Ingratitude hampers devotional service.
Throw ingratitude in the hamper. How about that?
Sure. Root out mixed devotion within us.
Get it out.
Don't eat roots.
We aren't here to be the enjoyer. We're here to serve the enjoyer.
That's enjoyable.
Mhm.
It is.
Offending great devotees brings big problems.
Brings great problems.
Mhm.
Little devotee.
Yeah. Little devotees.
Material enjoyment bewilders and covers our gratitude.
Yep.
Anything I've received from my teachers.
Look how Mara's triple tasking here. She's speaking, she's reading, she's got her hand on the dials. Good. Appreciating you today.
Thank you. Thank you for vocalizing that. Understand your students are sent from your teacher.
Yeah.
Everything becomes a waste of time if you don't remember why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Quick.
Were you knitting?
That was the last
Were you
one.
knitting?
Yeah.
Oh, and she was knitting.
And
Let's get everybody to do and together. And
we're all toads steeped in arrogance.
oh,
all right. Gonna have to
Oh.
just own that one. Get that music going.
we did it. Winding up a spiritual retreat. I'm glad you guys could join us for a little Wisdom of the Sages retreat. Oh, the message board. The message board. Prayers going out to everybody going through it today. People are going through it in very big ways. Some
Prayers
people
to
going
our
through little ways, but
friends in Israel.
yeah, yeah. And thanks to everybody who's here live. Say Harry Bowl live. Look who we got here. Fletcher, Manish, Dan Hunt, Isabel Billano, never misses a show. Jamie Stepp. Oh, the stars are out today. The Naked Vikings here. He's fully dressed. Rupen Kumari. Page family Bhakti.
Okay, hit it, Raghu.
Radhe. Radhe. Shri Radhe.
Oh, Gloria's here from
Jai
County.
Shri Krishna Jai Jai Radhe. Oh, look at the yogi house. They're losing their material minds. What do we put in that kitchen?
Kelly Skinner bobbing around over here.
Okay, you guys. It is a beautiful day for a beautiful day. Let the magic continue to flow. How do you go?